Right then guys, match reaction time. Liverpool just beat Aston Villa 3-1 and I think it was a very good game, to be fair. Very good game from the whole team. Obviously they've got some faults in the game. You know, we conceded a goal. Aston Villa did have chances in the first half and they dominated us in the first 10 minutes of the second half before we got that third goal. So there is stuff to still work on. Obviously, we've got to talk about Darwin and his chances. In my previous video, I mentioned how he could do with some consistency. And I think today proved that no matter what he does in a game, he will not stop trying for this club. And I can't hold that anything else against him, guys. We can't ask for anything else. As long as he's getting in these positions going forward, he will score goals. Yes, he probably should have scored 2 today, I'd say. You know, the first chance where he let it run for Salah. Be a bit more greedy. Take that opportunity. Take that chance and get it into the top of the net. And then the second one where I think it was a free kick that came in from the right. It came in and he just kind of kneed it straight at the goalkeeper. Do a little bit better with that one, you know, side foot it, whatever. Get a bit more of a solid contact on it and put it anywhere, either side of the goalkeeper, and he's scoring again. The other chance he had was when he volleyed it straight at the goalkeeper. I kind of thought first time watching take a touch, but after watching it back a few times, I think he did the right thing. And the fact he got that on target as well just goes to prove how good this guy can be and clinical this guy can be with his finishing. We've had people saying that he needs to be more clinical. He showed today that he can get shots on target. And that was one of my gripes from the Man City game, is that he had a lot of shots off target. They're on target today, so hopefully next game he gets them in the back of the net. Now, moving on to the rest of the team, I think Salah played really well today. Obviously got his goal. Was buzzing about, you know, getting on with Nunes, open opportunities for Nunes to get in around the back, stretching play with Nunes. I think of the front three, the Ox, of course, was the weakest, but it's to be expected. The guy's not had much game time recently, even though he did kind of set up that volley that Nunes had. And to be fair, from the last game, that ball he put through as well for that goal, that was really good. Midfield was really, really good, to be fair, today, like workhorse-wise. I think Thiago was a bit quiet passing about and a little bit shy going forward, shall we say. I didn't see much of him going forward. That's, you know, I didn't see much of it. Henderson worked himself into the ground as always, and I think Fabinho had his best performance this season. Maybe that World Cup break where he didn't get into the national team has given him a kick up the arse basically that he needed. Yeah, really good today, and he was really good when he came on against City as well. Getting in with the tackles, throwing his weight around, that's the Fabinho we need back. Defence, and Trent, good going forward. In fact, I'm going to say this, I think this is probably the best performance in a game we've had Robbo and Trent together since the 2019-20 season. I think potentially maybe the season after. They've played really, really well together today, in my opinion. Best I've seen them play together in a long time. Normally it's either like one or the other, like recently. But remember back a few years ago when they were both a threat going forward? They were back to that today. Van Dijk solid, Matip solid, though I do think if we're going to be playing more of the Trent at the right back, we do need Konate back as soon as possible, just because he's got that pace over Matip, you know. Alisson as well, saving us again, even though some of the shots that he did save were offside. You can't fault him, you know, you can only save what you can save. Substitutions, I think they came at the right time today. You know, nothing against Klopp. I do think Ben Doak was bright when he came on. You know, he reminds me of a little bit of Sterling when he first broke through. I don't think we should rush him like we did with Sterling, if I'm being honest. We've got more quality now than we did back then. So we should just keep doing what we're doing. Ease him in, 20, 15 minutes towards the back end of a game. Throw him into FA Cup, you know, if needs be. And if, God forbid, we get any more injuries, he'll have a bit more game time behind him and be able to start games and play a full 90 minutes. Joe Gomez came on, you know, he solidified that right back position. I think, to be fair to you and to him, he looks a lot more comfortable as a right back than he does as a centre back. That's just my opinion now, and I think maybe that's why Calvin Ramsey's not getting much of a look in at the moment. It's just because we've got Gomez, who's slightly better. Who else? Oh, Stefan Pajacic, you know, if that's how you pronounce it. Sorry, Stefan, but what a goal to come on and score, eh? I liked, everyone's going to go about the goal, but I liked the little touch when he took it over the goalkeeper. So he set himself up. That was pure class, was that? And the way everybody surrounded him when he scored, you know, you can't beat it. That young kid like that scoring a great goal, amazing. You know, again, give him a few more games, ease him into it. Let's just take our time with this one. We still do need midfielders, guys. Let's not hope that with him scoring the goal, FSG can think they can save some money in January. That is not the answer. Harvey Elliott, pretty quiet when he came on. There was one moment where he was like obviously playing where the Ox were playing, and he worked his way all the way across to the other wing, and I was like, who's covering that other side? Because the midfielder that was on that side was, you know, still tucked in. But maybe he got asked to be a bit more of a free role, you know, like move about in the centre. Maybe he was asked to do that. Who else came on? Can't really remember now, to be honest with you guys. That's a bit bad of me, innit? But yeah, solid game, guys. We got the W, we got the win, we got the 3 points, which is the most important thing. I think we're now 5 points behind 4th, which is all good. You know, I think we're 12 behind Arsenal as it stands. Obviously, they're playing now, but, you know, if we can keep this gap as it is, we had a bigger gap against City this time last season, guys, and we pushed them to the last game of the season. Now, I'm not saying that we're still in for the title. Me personally, I think that went a long time ago. But if we can get a run going that's very similar to what we had last season, top 4 is achievable. It is achievable. We need the right players brought in January. I've got my eye on Mohamed Kudus from Ajax. I've said that in a few videos now. It just makes sense that we buy him. He's very versatile. Can play midfield where he prefers to play, but also can play across the front three, which he did for Ghana at the World Cup. And he has been doing for Ajax as well. Before I leave you, there is a couple of quotes that I wanted to go over, you know, from the manager and from Virgil van Dijk. I will start with the ones from Klopp, which is basically, you know, Darwin Núñez played an incredible game. He will score goals. I have no doubt about that. He gives us so much more than that. He will score. Everything will be fine. This game was exceptional. I can't argue with that, guys. I think Darwin did so well today. He's improved from the Man City game. Let's just hope he takes that forward even further into the next game, which I think is Leicester on Friday, and he starts hitting the back of the net, like I said earlier. The last quote I want to go over is from Van Dijk, and it's about the players. And he goes, hopefully the injured players can come back soon. Hopefully, and this is the big bit, we can welcome some new players at our football club. We will see. I think that quality is always welcome at Liverpool. That is very, very telling from, you know, one of the captains at the club to come out after a game and say that. That to me says that they kind of know that something is happening in January. I think we all kind of wish that something's happening in January. A lot of people are probably going to take that as in Bellingham's on his way or Fernandes. I don't think it's that. I think it's someone a little bit small on that, like maybe Caicedo or, as I've just said, Kudus. Could be Gakpo as well. You know, he has just spent like 6 weeks or whatever it is around him at Holland, whispering in his ear, come here, you know. And if you look at the XG, I think it was, or some sort of stat I saw earlier, Gakpo is higher than what Luis Suarez were doing just before he joined Liverpool. Now, I know they're different players and it don't really mean anything, but that's pretty impressive, isn't it, guys? You know, I think Gakpo is pretty much nailed on to go to Man United anyway, but that gives me joy to see that, and makes me positive to feel like we have actually got something happening in January. I really do believe we have. So, I'll leave that there, guys. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with everything else that's going on. Comment down below what you thought of today's game, and also like the video if you have not done so already. And I'll catch you in the next one.